Oh, yeah. Hello. Unfortunately, we don't have a cold open for today's episode of Malevolent Matinee. We were going to go see Overlord, a brand new Nazi zombie World War II film, and I, unfortunately, was making everyone late. I was eating a little bit of fried chicken in the car. There was a bone incident. I won't get into it. But for punishment and for an opening, I'm going to eat some really cold fried chicken.
Corn on the cob.
Mommy.
Welcome to the show, Malevolent Matinee, where every screen is filled with dog shit horror films today. Malevolent Matinee, go grab some friends, hop in the van, and watch a new release get flayed.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Malevolent Matinee. We have a special guest today, coming from the big city of Chicago. Marlon's here hanging out with us. How you doing, Marlon?
Doing good. I wouldn't say I'm from Chicago. I'm more so from the suburbs.
Oh, okay.
Down here, that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you here?
If you must know, Joe, okay, and anyone else there watching, I am from a production group called Raven Roulette. We're based out of northwest suburbs of Chicago. I guess I can say that. I co-founded it with my good friend Brian Strife, so we're kind of a directing producer team. We're currently working on short narratives right now. We did a short horror film called Mr. No Face.
So, what did we see today, gentlemen?
We just saw the new movie Overlord, produced by Bad Robot Productions, J.J. Abrams, and I don't want to jump right into it, but I'll jump right into it. Fucking awesome.
Overlord.
The first Malevolent Matinee since we started doing this that I'm not angry or thinking about quitting doing.
The first one was watchable.
Yeah. Oh, it was beyond watchable. Yeah. Like, I want to watch it again.
It's a hell of an opening sequence.
Yes.
Yeah, it starts with, so this is a World War II movie, I'm sure it will show something.
I'm a very, very bad Hitler.
But it starts with this company on this aircraft carrier. And it's very, like, I've seen scenes like this before, but it was something about how it was shot was different. And I really liked that you got, it's a short scene. It's maybe 5 minutes of them talking, but you instantly know, okay, he's the smart-ass dude from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He's the guy from Chicago with the Cubs thing in his helmet.
That's the guy you don't fuck with.
There's the hard-ass.
There's the guy who eats clay.
Yeah, there's Joe-looking guy there.
That sets up all the pieces, all the archetypes that we see in World War II or war movies in general.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've seen this scene before. A bunch of soldiers, you know, about ready to do a mission. They're all scared. One guy's puking. And then, you know, we get Bokeem Woodbine. He's the sergeant. And he kind of sets everything up.
Just a little crowd hello, ladies. Isn't this fun, ladies? Didn't I tell you, ladies, I'd show you a good time?
They're going into France. They've got to blow up a tower that's above on top of a church. And when
like a radio jamming tower.
A radio jamming tower. That's the mission. That's all you need to know.
And they need to do that to allow the invasion of Normandy to happen the next day.
So it's a really cool kind of almost like a Rogue One moment where this big moment. It's just real life. You know, this moment we know about in real life, of course, you know, Normandy. But it's like these were the guys that had to do a mission so Normandy could happen. So I like that was kind of the stakes are very high. The stakes are incredibly high for this mission.
I don't know why they put it off for so long. Like they decided like 6 hours before the mission happened to go blow up the tower. Why didn't they do that a year before that? You know?
Because war, Joe. Shut up.
War as hell.
I think the idea was, okay, we're gonna send a bunch of people there, but they're the only ones that made it.
Is it like Operation Human Shield or something? Like,
So once they hammer out, okay, this is the mission. They're getting ready to jump, and then all hell starts breaking loose. It's very intense, and the whole time we're kind of tight on voice.
Well, it's very, very tight. It's very quick shots. It's very shaky, like you're actually in there.
Yeah. Look at you. Annoyed Ryan that much.
No, I got some on my teeth.
Ah, okay. I thought I maybe had to pee.
In his teeth?
Yeah, brushing.
I got a popcorn hole.
Oh my gosh. Hollywood over there.
Yeah.
It's like corn on the cob.
Because we're shooting 4K, but
I got Brussels sprouts stuck up in
it's
here.
It's rare that I watch it in 4K this close.
I got Brussels sprouts. My buddy Brussels. No, it was the hole was like irritating.
All kinds of sprouts.
Okay.
you get a real like up close perspective of the soldiers of what's going on. You get that definitely that first person view of what's happening. And like I was tense in my seat watching. It makes you feel like you're right there with them, like you're about to jump out or whatnot.
Yeah. It's rare that when they try to do that it works. But I actually felt like, oh yeah, I get it. This is a time where this is working. I feel like I'm there with them.
The whole time I was just wondering, like, how could you process being in a situation like that and like being even like still having to keep your shit together, like, and do a mission on top of it.
He goes through a hell of a time. So the plane gets all shot to hell. He's tumbling through the air. There's explosions and bullets whizzing by him, and it feels like
you see his plane blow up.
You see his plane. He pulls his parachute.
It just
barely enough time. Yeah, barely enough. He hits the water, goes all the way down, and he's all tangled up, in the wires and in the cords from the parachute. He pulls out his knife. He has to cut that. And then he gets up. Well, there's a parachute also floating on the water, so he's stuck in that. Cuts his way out through that, and then eventually makes his way to shore. All of this is like one continuous shot.
It happens fast.
Yeah, and it's so intense and so just such a major experience that as a war movie, at this point, take away the horror stuff that's on the way. Just as a war movie, I'm in it. I'm in it 100%.
There's nothing that gives it like, oh, this is gonna be kind of sci-fi horror. Oh no, it's just a war movie.
If you hadn't seen the trailers for Overlord and you were just watching this movie and say, hey, we're gonna watch this movie, you'd be like, oh, this is a badass World War II.
Like really gory horror, like kind of like a throwback to Private Ryan. It's the only other like super gory one I remember.
It's kind of almost like From Dusk Till Dawn, where the first half is like this, kind of crime like gangster film, and then it turns into vampires.
Yeah.
But they don't jump into that right away.
No. It takes its time, and it unfolds itself very organically. It doesn't just all of a sudden slap you in the face with vampires, or like From Dusk Till Dawn does, which I love that movie.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know how he didn't go deaf through that movie, because he was near like 5 big explosions right next to his face.
Yeah.
So he should have not been able to hear anything. He should have been like me. I got the tinnitus.
I mean, we can hear. We spend a lot of time around you.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you got the tinnitus?
Yeah, tittyitis.
Yeah.
Too big. Dr. Says are too big. I'm a growing girl.
This thing holds him up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then he runs into the sergeant, who's like, fuck you, Krauts. Yeah. And he's surrounded by Nazis, and he's like, hey, you got a light, Kraut?
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh, dude, come on, you're gonna die.
Bokeem Woodbine knows he's in a no-win situation.
Well, yeah.
He goes out like a champ. But Boyce almost jumps to save him, which would have been suicide, because there was a whole bunch of Nazis. The Nazis end up killing Bokeem Woodbine. And just before Boyce can do anything, boom, here comes the grizzled blonde guy, the bombardier or whatever, the bomb expert, who we find out is named Ford, and he is the son of Kurt Russell.
And I think Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, and he looks just like him. Mm-hmm. And there are moments in the movie, at certain angles, where it's like looking at young used cars era Kurt Russell. Yeah. I mean, it's... And sometimes it sounds like him too.
But I've seen him in like 22 Jump Street when he's a fucking frat guy.
Whoops. Oh, shit. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. It's all right, man. Don't worry about it, man. You sure? Yeah. All right. Okay, I got it.
But he was just like kind of hard ass dude in this.
This is my first time. This is my first time seeing him in anything.
Yeah, I got the perfect thing they can use him for.
What?
I got the perfect thing they can use him for.
What?
Okay, so McCready from The Thing had a son before he went into Antarctica.
I was getting
I was getting
a Thing vibe.
It's Thing
from him.
He goes back to Antarctica to look for his dad's stuff, and then he gets infected with the Thing.
He goes back to where?
The Arctic.
Okay.
Yeah, the Arctic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe.
What?
Christmas season is on its way, so if anyone wants to give Joe a globe so he can learn about continents.
Oh. See, I don't know where a lot of them are. I know where like kind of like Paraguay is.
You don't. I guarantee you. I don't know a lot in this world. I guarantee you.
Where's Paraguay, boy?
It's right next to Sweden. Somewhat on the kind of timeline of the globe.
Yeah. The time.
I mean, it's on the same globe. I can't. You know, it's on the same planet.
You know those lines where you.
Yeah, they bump into 3 more characters. We got Tibbet.
Who's the kind of Brooklyn dude?
Yeah, he's you've seen him in a lot of these. You know,
hey!
Yeah, he's stereotypical. Like, hey, what are you doing? That's 90%
Your standard
his dialogue.
stereotypical 1940s Italian New Yorker.
Yeah.
And he's great. Like I love that kind of guy in a movie.
I loved it, but wasn't he like a semi antagonistic towards the main character?
Yeah. He's
constantly kind of like putting him down. Like
he's kind of a piece of shit in the beginning.
Yeah, he takes his tags.
Yeah, he's a very abrasive character. He's a tough guy. He doesn't have a lot of respect for everybody else.
Yeah.
He's not really affected by war. It doesn't seem so much. I mean, where he seems like he's kind of into it. And we find out that there's a reason that he's specifically antagonistic to Boyce. They were in boot camp together, and there was an incident with a mouse was in the barracks and shitting all over the place, and they told Boyce, hey, grab your boot and kill it. He didn't want to do that. And so he's been branded a pussy, basically, since then. Tibbet continues to be an asshole to Boyce, and so you don't like him, but he's also kind of funny. So he's got a likable quality because he is so the Joe Pesci, hey. You know, it's like a little Andrew Dice Clay.
You know, this fucking kid.
Yeah, Dice Clay.
What do you know about Andrew Dice Clay?
Well, he hasn't been relevant in about 20 years.
What do you know about Andrew Dice Clay?
He hasn't been relevant in 20 years.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he has a great supporting role in A Star Is Born.
Thank you.
Okay.
Andrew Dice Clay, A Life Story by Joe Buckley.
So he was born a while ago. He grew up as a child. He was a comedian. He's very loud. He likes to say fucking stuff.
Do you know any of his classic jokes or any of his nursery rhymes?
No.
How do you know him?
I've heard his name.
And there you go.
Yeah.
This is what it's like knowing Joe Buckley on a daily basis.
That guy? I hate that guy.
You
what do you know about him?
something,
I know his name.
And he goes, oh yeah, and he either is approval or disapproval.
It's either incredible or the worst thing ever.
But then when you dig in, you know Joe doesn't know jack shit about anything.
Okay. I know about socks.
You know a man named Andrew.
Yeah.
You've rolled a pair of dice and you eat clay.
I don't eat clay.
Anymore.
No.
They find Tibbet. They find photographer guy whose name is the only character I don't really remember.
Oh fuck!
But he's played by the actor from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the lead.
Oh, that's
Chase. Chase was the name of the photographer.
Chase is the photographer, and then there's a guy who.
Nice.
Yeah, whose name I don't know, but
he was writing a book.
Yes,
the author.
Yeah, we'll never read the book now.
Exactly, and I knew, and it's if you watch a lot of war movies.
Well, yeah,
you always know that the character.
You know what I'm gonna do when I get home? I'm gonna write a book.
The character that has specific future plans. He either he's recently married.
You know, Zig, I got a girl back home.
Yeah, he's got a girl
First
back
day
home.
I get back home, I'm gonna marry her, and then boom, that explodes.
He's either got a specific future plan.
Boom,
writing a book.
Boom,
he was gonna open a restaurant on the shore.
Boom,
he's newly married, or he has a new child that he hasn't seen yet.
Oh
that was born while he's been overseas. Boom,
they're
not long for that work.
Yeah, he wants to go kiss
a little
his
boy
baby.
waiting for me at home.
And sure enough, the guy who talks about, you writing a book? Yeah, I'm writing a book. He steps on a landmine.
Boom!
I know what book he was writing.
Yeah.
Million Little Pieces, that one guy who lied.
God damn it. I hate when you do like a real joke.
Yeah.
Because they're always funny.
That was good.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Fuck. Whatever. We're done. Episode's over.
Overlord's fine. It's a good movie. Go see it.
Yeah, I'd say definitely B+.
They're fucking around in the woods. They see like a weird animal.
Yeah.
That they think is a jackal, but it's got hooves.
Yeah, they come across. I thought at first that it was like a campfire.
No, it was so gooey. I couldn't tell what it was.
It was kind of smoldering, but yeah, it was.
But I mean, now that we know later, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it was a twisted hunk of weird flesh, and they're debating what kind of animal it could have been.
So maybe it was like an early experiment.
Yeah, it must have been an experiment on animals.
Yeah. Or it could have been a really fucked up cat that somebody had to put out of its misery.
Yeah, you know, one of them hoofed cats.
Yeah. But it kind of sets up the idea that
something right around here.
Maybe something in that area is a little off. More than just war. There could be something more to this.
And then
what these guys are about to walk into.
And then they meet
the girl,
Chloe.
Chloe, a French girl, just happens to be strolling through that area.
Stealing stuff off of the dead bodies. I thought she was scavenging, for stuff. Yeah.
Well, because she also had a rabbit with her. I thought she was like hunting too.
That's what
probably
both. Later on, they reference no rabbit. She didn't make any food, so she was out there hunting, and she stops. She sees these American soldiers are like, we got to stop her. We can't. Obviously, they don't know if she's friendly, a foe, whatever. Basically, kind of explain what they're doing, and they go to her. They go into this village. And they kind of set up shop at her house.
And it's the village.
I wouldn't say it's a hostage situation because
it's more like a
she hates Germans too.
Yeah,
because she hates them because France is occupied by the Nazis at this point, and there's her town that she lives in is
right
where the church is in her town.
Yeah,
and there's something happening.
They're taking villagers up to that tower and they don't come back right.
And the Nazis are being a bunch of fucking Nazis.
Well, yeah, they keep going into her house and they won't clean their shoes off before they go in.
Well, they're also dragging out her family members and shoot them in the street.
Well, but all the mud. That's a lot of house cleaning.
Yeah.
How filthy have you made this house?
I got some crumbs. It's fine. I clean. I vacuum.
Anyway, they end up going into her house.
Yep. Yeah, they go into her house, and right away there's this weird, unearthly moaning.
Do it, Joe. Anyway, you're welcome. Anytime, Joe.
Yeah.
Concerned about you. So we learned that she lives with her aunt, who makes that fucking sound.
Yeah.
And she's a lovely lady.
Little brother?
And she got a little brother named Paul.
Brother.
Little brother named Paul, little guy.
He's 8 years old, loves baseball.
Loves baseball, thinks all Americans play baseball. When these soldiers show up and he's got a baseball, he wants to play baseball. Tibbet in particular
doesn't like the kid. Coming in.
Doesn't like the kids. Like, I don't play baseball.
And the kid's like following Tibbet, specifically Tibbet around.
Yeah, he takes a liking
the whole
to
movie,
Tibbet.
which is it's nice.
Yeah, and it's a thing that as the movie progresses.
It pays off at the end.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So all of our main characters
are hiding out in the attic, and Ford tells the Chloe, he's like, look, we're only going to be here 4 hours. The mission's going to be in 4 hours. And they're looking out the window and they're seeing people get assassinated. I mean, they're seeing villagers just getting shot in the street.
Jehovah's Witness.
By these Nazis. So, I mean, it's just... And knock on the door. It is a very dressed to the nine.
Yeah, SS officer.
He's a high-ranking SS officer. Wafner is his character's name. And he's got, a gang with him. And he comes in the house. We, the audience, know that all these American soldiers are up in the attic.
In the attic, and they're kind of watching through.
Yeah, they're watching through the cracks in the floorboard. And Wafner and Chloe have some dialogue back and forth, and we find out, okay,
there's some sort of an arrangement.
There's an arrangement,
a lewd arrangement.
Yeah,
where
it's implied it's been done before.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
he takes off his shoes and she gets. Isn't that
no? The first thing that it implies, the first sign that there's something happening is he undoes part of his collar and just stands there like,
are you gonna help me out of this?
Yeah, and then
I was like,
okay.
ooh, oh no, something's happening. Oh boy,
this is not good.
Yeah.
And Boyce at this point
he's like, fuck it, we gotta get him. Fuck it, we gotta get him. Boom.
He's had a one-on-one conversation with Chloe. There's been there's like a connection there. There's a weird little thing there, an attraction, and it's very less a human connection there between there. So Boyce immediately, he's looking through these floorboards. He sees Wafner in there. He knows what's going on. Okay, Wafner is obviously gonna coerce her into some sort of sexual favor against her will, and she tries to talk him out of it too. They hear some noise upstairs. Wafner's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Is that Toad's fucking?
Yeah. he sends his goons upstairs, and evil Matt Smith goes up there and finds finds Paul with the baseball, and he like rolls it down the stairs. Evil Matt Smith takes it up.
Yeah, that's
throws
something.
It up.
That's something that is a theme throughout Overlord is spitting.
Yeah.
Was that just a Nazi thing?
Men were a lot more drooly.
The
back
girl
then.
did it too.
The girl does it.
Is it a European thing?
Well, everybody had more saliva back
Shut
in the day.
up, Joe!
Okay.
Christ!
Yeah.
But there's a lot of spitting in this movie. People shooting people, spitting on the body, spitting on the baseballs, a lot of spitting.
People think that might be what the kidney helps regulate, saliva. And everybody's getting their kidneys taken out nowadays.
Why are you tapping your
I think
nipple?
this is where the kidney is. Like right around here, maybe? Oh, back there? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. One of these days you will have kidney stones, and then you'll know.
Oh, sure.
That he will, if he hasn't had them by now.
I mean, the amount of garbage you drink, and you don't drink any water.
I drink some. I've got a tub of water downstairs I drink out of.
His water intake is on the rise.
Yeah.
But that's not saying much.
No.
I used
guys
to call it
monitor
sky piss.
everything?
I mean, we spend so like if he's not with one of us, he's probably asleep.
Joe is still alive because of the people in this room. More so Tyler than anybody.
I'd just actually like to take a moment to personally thank our editor, Tyler. He does such a good job with the show. It's so tight, it's so funny, the jokes are so good. And you know what? He's so good to me personally. He gives me food, he almost never hits me with a belt.
He's given Joe a purpose. He's helped Joe get a job. He's given Joe food, he's given Joe ride.
Notoriety.
So anyway,
yeah.
At this point, Wafner is getting very handsy, and he starts forcing his way onto Chloe.
He starts working down.
Which was surprising.
It surprised. It was. It
goes on for a while.
And while this is going on, we keep cutting back up to the attic, where Boyce is getting pissed, and he wants to make a move, but Ford is like, no. Look, the mission. And so we're, as the audience, are thinking, okay, well, Boyce can't possibly step in. And so then we spend some time with Wafner and Chloe, and he's pushed her up against a wall.
He starts making his way down. He's about to go down on her.
And then, boom, fucking great hero moment. Boom, muzzle right to the back of his head. It's Boyce. Boyce was like, fuck you. Went downstairs, put the muzzle to the back of Wafner's head. Completely saves the day. And at this moment where I wanted to stand up and be like, fuck yeah, Boyce. This
piece of shit.
This
look at his face.
Cherub angel of a Buckley turns to me, breathing a combination of despair,
chicken.
I had some chicken.
Whatever was roasting in his belly,
slush.
and copious amounts of slush.
I got 3.
Pulsing into my nose and my ear, and he says to me in this moment, I bet she's got 8 feet of bush. God. You ruined this fucking great heroic moment in the movie that us
But he does.
Yeah.
Just by taking that moment to scream into my ear.
I bet she's got 8 foot of bush.
I was just trying to entertain my friend.
You see, and Barnum doesn't even know you.
Oh,
he
sure.
made the smart move of sitting at the separate.
Yeah. He kept away. And that was good of you. Yeah.
He sensed it. Sometimes you can just
He's a smart guy.
You just get a vibe that somebody's bad.
Oh yeah, just keep your
and you
distance.
stay away. Yeah.
Well, you're my buffer.
Yeah.
So anyway, they take him upstairs.
Yeah, so they
capture him.
Yeah, they beat his ass a little bit, and then
spank him.
They string him up.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a great interrogation moment, and it's very satisfying for us as the audience member to see Ford in particular just start beating his ass. You know what I mean?
Do they imply like you kind of try to feel a little sorry for him for a second?
I don't
Because
know.
like it goes on for a while, like the beating like towards him, and even the main character Boyce like kind of wants to step in and stop it. And Ford is just like,
well,
no, like
I think
Boyce's whole thing was like, I don't want to sink to their level.
And he says that it's a character thing, and it just shows you the difference also in the level of experience, and that just sets up a difference between these two lead characters, that they are very different, and that was, I think, an important moment because a little later on in the film, the interrogation of Wafner gets very intense to the point where I was like, I think perhaps Ford is lost his mind.
Fuck yeah!
I mean, he is sadistically torturing and beating the shit out of Wafner, which Wafner is a horrible character, don't get me wrong, but you don't normally see, especially like in a mainstream movie, any heroes get that nasty with a bad guy early on, like this early in a film.
It's like 20 minutes into the movie. It feels like. This still is just a hard R war movie at this point.
And that's one of the things I like about it is it worked. At this point, it was working 100% as a war movie. If they never went into the sci-fi horror realm at that moment and just kept in this direction of this Dirty Dozen type of story, I'd have been totally fine with it.
It still would have been a good movie.
And then they decide, okay, we need to go scout out the church. When they're scouting, Boyce sees them bring out a bunch of almost on stretchers, a bunch of fucked up.
Okay, I did miss that part because I had to go.
They weren't even all dead too.
No, they were all. I think most of them were alive because some of them stood up and were shambling. And they're like, get the fuck over there, like how we are with Joe. Get the fuck move, come on.
And
hey, you can't step on that cord. Get off.
So there's a big concrete, almost like a baseball dugout thing. It looked like they pushed them in. A couple of flamethrower guys come up, torch them all,
just burn it all.
And Boyce sees it, he's like, what the, oh fuck.
Yeah, because he's like, what is going on here at this point? I mean, obviously something totally fucked up is happening here. He ends up getting out of that situation by having to hide in the back of a truck with a bunch of dead soldiers.
A bunch of dead bodies.
Standard dead. They weren't mutated or weird like these other guys.
Just shot
These were just corpses, dead
up guys.
Yeah, people who stepped on a nail and got tetanus and they had to throw them in the body truck.
Sure, Joe, I'm sure there's one of them.
It happens.
He ends up, I know, especially then.
Oh yeah.
Dysentery.
The gout. You always got to worry about the gout.
I'm sure
that's a past disease and future.
Sure there was
polio.
Old-timey king.
Polio was a big thing.
The clap.
Joe,
syphilis, man.
Joe won't have to worry. Let's talk about the diseases Joe won't have to worry about. Let's do a thing. Ding, ding, ding type of thing. Perhaps right here there'll be the list.
Okay.
Over his face.
Herpes. Gonorrhea.
Well, you can get the herpes from sharing drinks.
Syphilis.
Okay.
Chlamydia.
Okay.
Pubic lice.
Well,
ringworm of the. If that's a thing, Joe won't have to worry about getting that.
Okay.
But let's talk about the diseases Joe will have to worry about.
Oh, sure.
Stroke.
It's fine. Everybody's got to go eventually.
What's your next one, Ryan?
What are we doing?
Slipping on a banana peel.
Joe's dead.
They found something up his ass.
However, he slipped on a banana peel and died.
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, sure.
Imagine if that's the way you go out.
I would be
such an embarrassing way to die.
Yeah.
I would love to die slipping on a banana peel.
Joe's gonna step on the very last functioning landmine in some random part of the country.
It turns out there's one
when he goes on his first vacation.
I'm going to Louisiana.
Boom.
So Boyce sneaks into the church compound in the back of a truck with a bunch of dead bodies, and he's sneaking around the whole time thinking this is a brave motherfucker. This whole time he's still going through with this mission, trying to explore the whole area, going through all the hallways, all through all the rooms. Eventually, he comes across this section where they have all these rooms with these people inside, and you can see kind of cute.
Big peepholes.
Peepholes. There you go. And you don't really see what's happening inside. You kind of just see a flash of someone coming up to the people, implying that they're all disfigured or something.
I got nails stuck in my wiener. Ow.
And eventually he works his way to the laboratory area.
Kind of the main chamber.
The main chamber
with a well in the middle or something.
The well with the goo at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well,
they don't really talk too much about it.
And an interesting thing about this church is it's a church, but it's also a mausoleum.
Yeah.
You notice that and there's levels, they get deeper and deeper. In this church, there's mausoleums in the wall and stuff.
Yeah. And
they're using these, they've obviously emptied them. There's a good little bit there of storytelling where they're putting these bodies that they're doing experiments on
back in there.
And sliding them in mausoleums as a place to hold the bodies. Obviously, they took out whatever was in there.
Yeah, poor grandma.
That's just this straight up disrespect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just a little character.
She was resting there for 30 years.
It's just one of those little things I noticed that I thought was wow, it just showed another level of how depraved and awful these fucking guys were.
I'm a very, very bad Hitler.
But yes, he comes upon a laboratory, and there's these sacks full of bodies, I guess. One of them's begging for help, and he unzips it, and goo comes out, goo bags, and
yeah.
But yeah, he starts uncovering all kinds of messed up stuff. And one of the great bits I thought in the movie, reminding very reminiscent of Reanimator or Return of the Living Dead, I thought, was he lifts a tarp, and there's a woman saying "S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît." There's a French woman, It's her head, and then some of her spine, and that's it. And she's still alive. She's talking.
Yeah.
And that was a real practical effect. It was a real practical effect.
Oh yeah, he finds these big syringes.
Yeah.
With his red goop in it, and he pockets one of them.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid of him because that could poke his leg.
Isn't this the part where he also comes across another survivor from the plane?
Okay.
Well, let's talk about that cringy moment where like he had to pull that. Needle out of it. I was expecting it to be deeper though. It wasn't.
Oh, I wanted to see it through like a spine.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna. I didn't think that character was gonna survive that moment. I thought he was gonna pull it out and some.
Yeah, a bunch of guts come out.
He was the one character in the plane that had a beat like everybody else.
Yeah.
That then just kind of disappeared.
Is he the guy that spoke German?
I don't know if he spoke. I just remembered he's the Jewish guy because he was like, you have any idea what they're gonna do with a guy named Rosenthal or whatever?
Yeah.
I think and he's also the guy. He's a Chicago guy. He's got the Cubs.
Yeah,
on his
and he makes
head.
that specific.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he has that specific line early, right in that first scene where he's like, you know what will happen if I get captured?
Oh yeah, and they do.
I'm a Jewish man and I get captured by these Nazis. And then so to come upon him.
And he's alive,
and he's in this underground lab,
relatively okay.
And he's got some sort of device, like big suction cup looking tube thing.
It's big. I mean, it's probably as big around as like this, and it looked like it was like sutured on.
Yeah,
but it was really like almost like a suction cup.
It was like a big suction cup.
But with a huge needle in the middle. Oh.
Yeah. So you probably got to suck out all the stomach acid so you can put other stuff in there.
Doing something.
I don't know what they were planning.
So they did not inject anything into him? They maybe like they were waiting?
I don't know, because
nothing happened.
They talk about later in the movie that they're like extracting something from the people, like something from the water. Because that kind of makes me think of the big Urukai sacks that they're in, because there's like people in there, but there's tubes coming out of them, like they're being refined or something.
There's certain things that are alluded to throughout the movie about life forces that have been.
I think
in
it's
the
great
city.
that we don't know exactly what happened.
Well, they don't explain 100% at all how they came up with the science. What exactly 100% they're doing. I think they're building an army. Essentially,
that's
super soldiers.
We know what they want to do. They said the 1,000-year Reich needs 1,000-year soldiers.
Yeah.
So they're basically creating Captain America.
Yeah, it's
this is like a dark version of Captain
America.
America.
What if somebody in 1944, they saw Captain America comic book and they're like, hey, well, let's try this for real. And this is what happened. This was them trying to real science.
This is the Nazis trying to make Captain America.
Yeah, I think this is the direction Marvel should go.
But essentially, we never really get a full on story of how they came across whatever it is they're doing, where they learned how to do it, what this power is. It's alluded to a few times, but never
spoon-fed to us, which I like it. There's mystery to it.
They're able to get away by kicking out a little grate, a little drain, essentially, in the mausoleum. They kick out the rusty thing. They go through a nasty water tunnel. Yeah. They get out and they haul ass back to the house. And then Boyce is like, holy fucking shit, we finally, he's got Jake with him.
They throw him on the table, Chloe kind of cleans him up.
Yeah. And he starts explaining what he saw, and he pulls out the syringe, he shows it to Wafner, asks, what the fuck is this? And it's at that moment that Ford, still all about that mission, he starts to want to know, okay, I'm in. What the fuck is going on here? And he wants to know more from Wafner.
And this is the big torture.
And this is when Wafner really works on him. He strings him up and he's just puts on some brass knuckles. Well, the girl even stabs him in the leg. And obviously the girl's got a lot. I mean,
that's right.
A lot of reasons.
Then they string him up and they do that too.
Oh yeah. It's all.
Joe, are you tired?
It's past my bedtime.
Stand up right now.
Okay.
Stand up. Hold on. We need to wake Joe up. Joe, stand up.
Okay.
I want you to do 10 jumping jacks right now.
I gotta move away then.
Yeah.
Like clear the air.
I need to grab another drink.
Yeah. Okay. We'll count them off. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2,
3.
Do you know how to do a jumping jack, Joe?
It's a jumping jack. It's in gym. Leave me alone, teacher. I'm doing them.
6.5, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, stop. I don't think the foundations can handle anymore. All right, are you awake now?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I just noticed you're wearing that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just like,
go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. It's happening. It's finally happening.
Am I missing it?
I was just trying to kill Joe.
Yeah. Morgan Sporlock. No, Morgan Sporlock.
Morgan Spurler.
Morgan Sporlock.
Yeah, he ate a bunch of fries. Yeah.
Side note, Marlon here had some nuggets. But Joe, no shame in Joe's game. Joe's like, oh, I'll take those nuggets. And I was like, man, you just made a best friend for life.
Oh, yeah, it's like feeding a dog.
Yeah, it's like giving a dog some bacon strips. That dog is gonna fuss. So Joe may follow you all the way to the suburbs.
What happens after that?
They send camera guy upstairs, and then the officer is faking dead, basically.
Which leads to probably my least favorite moment of the film, and I'll tell you why. He's strung up. He's trying to get his attention. He has a bag over his head. He's not responding. Okay, I'm gonna cut him down now. Like, why is he cutting him down? He cuts him down, tries to wake him up, sees he's still knocked out. Like, oh, okay. Turns his back. He's like, it calls out because he needs help. I guess like propping him up or something. And that's when.
Well, they gotta go. They're gonna go take him and like use him as bait for the other Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, because they're still trying to do the mission.
I'm not a fan of situations when people get themselves like just killed in clumsy ways.
Now, in this case, and I agree with you for the most part, but in this case,
he looks dead.
In this case, I'm okay with that happening because the guy they sent up there was the last guy they should have sent up there. The cameraman. Essentially, he's not even a soldier. He's there to take pictures. So of all the guys to send up there to bring down the beat up bad
your
guy,
SS officer,
it should have been Ford. You know what I mean? Or it should have been your two strongest. It should have been more than one guy too. In that case, that guy's naivety makes sense to me because throughout the movie, he's every time they say he's part of the mission, he's like, oh, I got to do that. I'm just the cameraman.
I'm here for the bolt.
That's an important job to go and take your Nazi captive, dude.
And so I feel like it was a mistake more on Ford and the guys to send the least likely guy to go and bring down the potentially still alive.
Send Joe to
I'm a cameraman. I know what to do.
I'm good.
Oh shit!
I'm all right.
All right, let's do some cliff notes.
Chase gets shot. Bang, bang, bang. They go, oh god, he's dead. He's a pretty emotional death. He's like, where's my camera at?
It's a sad, it's sad because he was alive.
And I was just thinking, I don't care about this fucking camera guy. He hasn't really done much yet. And then he gets shot and he's dying. I'm like,
he's like,
oh man.
He wanted to take one last dick pic before he died.
Thanks for
needed his camera.
An old 1944 dick pic.
Yeah.
It's the one death.
Kind of see the schlong.
Oh my god, Joe! This is the one death where it's like, where it isn't just someone's head explodes, or they're there and then they're not. This is like a slow, like, oh shit, he's bleeding out.
Yeah,
his lungs collapse. He's wheezing. He's like,
sad.
Where's my camera, boys?
It's sad.
And he dies. And Boyce goes, no, motherfucker.
Wait. So sidetracking just for a second.
Yeah.
Like going back to back when Boyce was snooping around the facility, he saw the doctor reanimate pretty much a dead corpse with the needle that he just pocketed in his pocket.
I forgot about that.
So when Chase is wheezing and dying on the ground, and he's dead.
Thinks about
it occurs to him like, wait a minute, I saw this work back at the facility. Maybe it'll work now.
Yeah, right.
Well, if
so
he
pulls it out,
and I already knew that was a bad idea. I'm like, this isn't gonna end well.
And us as the audience knows, So he takes a syringe, boom, sticks it into cameraman and Chase, and then within a minute, maybe even not
seconds,
even that.
Chase, how do you feel?
I feel really good.
He wakes up, his wheezing subsides. They say, how do you feel? He's like, I feel great. I'm thirsty.
He says, I'm thirsty, and Joe is going to reenact what he does.
Reenact that scene. No, hold on. Let's reenact the whole scene now. You're dead. Hold on.
Okay.
You're dead. You're dead. You're sad about it.
Joe, how you feel, Joe?
Thirsty.
Oh, well, here's your canteen. Drink it all up.
Don't forget, he does that little driplet thing at the end.
Oh, my canteen.
And then he bends the canteen, and it's like, oh, shit. This guy's
a metal canteen.
A metal canteen. This guy's got some strength on him now.
And then you see he's like, oh my god, and he's like, his arms are he's super vascular.
Yeah.
And his veins are like black.
Yeah, he got a pump. So you can see his veins.
And then it just
his body discombobulates.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, give me a break.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
But like, imagine like if we took Joe's head and we mercifully pulled it back a way that nature didn't intend, and there was a heavenly snap at the bones and the entrails and the esophagus that you would see. You see this in Chase. And yet he's not dead, but his body
he like rights itself up, and now his neck's all fucked up,
and his body's breaking and it's twisting and it's just going through all these things, and everybody's freaking out, obviously.
And he's screaming at boys, "What the fuck did you do to me?" He's like throwing him across the room.
Starts getting aggressive, starts turning into a monster essentially.
He fights forward a little bit, and they eventually shoot him.
They machine gun him, and then he gets back up.
In the torso. The torso.
Yeah, they shoot him, and he squibs everywhere, flops down for a couple seconds.
Yeah,
he stands back up again.
Yeah, long story short, they shoot him a couple of times. It's not enough. He keeps coming back to life, and boom, Boyce, who brought him to life in the first place, takes the butt of his gun and just wham, 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 and just destroys it, crushes Chase's head. And Chase is done. He's finally done.
And that's where you kind of start to think of like, so they come back kind of like zombies, where you got to take out the brain in order to like kill them.
Well, yeah, I don't want to call this a zombie movie because first of all, I'm fucking tired of zombies. Yeah. I'm tired of it. I love The Walking Dead. Get the fuck out of my face. I love Dawn of the Dead remake. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm tired of zombies. Shut up. I'm tired of zombies. I'm tired of zombies. When you say I got this really cool zombie movie, fuck you. I don't care anymore about zombies. You've ruined zombies for me. Zombie. Every day, every week, new zombie movie. Yeah. We have 3 zombie fucking TV shows on TV right now. It's enough. These there's Z Nation and the
iZombie.
iZombie and Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead and Zombie Bill and the Buckaroos or whatever Western's gonna come out now. I'm tired of zombies. So I will refuse to call these creatures in the movie zombies because yes, in that instance, it reanimated a dead guy, but he turned into some fucking he turned into a monster.
It's like some feral man.
They turn into a creature. They're not a shambling zombie.
They like get deformed and bubble. Yeah. They remind me a lot of the guys, I don't know what they call them in Planet Terror.
Yes, I would say, and I would
because they got big like pustules.
Yeah, they're just a monster. They're just it's a monster. Can it just be a monster? Okay.
This is life changing.
Because I think Overlord is better than a zombie movie. I think there's too much good stuff going on to just say, oh, and then they run across zombies. That sounds boring.
I got to jerk off the.
Joe, leave for a while. No, seriously, go over there. Go over there.
It's just last 5 minutes.
Take your slush. I can't.
5-minute timeout.
I can't. Your contributions.
Okay, I'm nil. Or not next, is it?
I can't.
So yeah, while they're all distracted about Chase being reanimated and then like being killed again, during this time they lose track of Wafner, who escapes on his way out, grabs the boy Paul, runs into his fellow Nazis outside, tells them to kill everyone inside, I'm assuming, and open fire.
Yeah.
In the process, I guess Wafner gets shot in the face.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that completely.
It's really quick because there's kind of a firefight because they're like, oh fuck, we let the Nazi go.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the one situation where you wouldn't be ice trained on a Nazi? Well, one of your buddies is twisting up.
Yeah, it's understandable that they forgot about Wafner for a moment in that situation.
So and I think it's Ford. They're firing off and they're zipping off in the little car, and you just see him get like hit like and just a huge chunk of something falls off of him.
And real quick, I just want to say in this moment, and again, another strength of this movie is that firefight is a great action. Yeah. It's a great action. It's
a great war scene.
Yeah, it's the guns are fighting. I mean, people are squibs and people getting shot. I mean, it is a hard R-rated 80s style Predator kind of action film.
It feels like there hasn't been one like this.
We haven't had anything like this in a long time.
Where like if someone gets shot, there's a huge stream of blood. Glorious Bastards is probably the last one.
Yeah, and
it's not big ropey, it's a Kill Bill like fountain shit.
Yeah, it's not,
which is good.
It's not absurd. It's just.
It's just like a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah, it's like I said, this movie works just as well at the war stuff as it does the horror stuff.
Which leads into a big moment for Boyce when Ford is like, okay, he's gone, we still have to proceed with the mission or whatnot. And Boyce is like, no, we have to go rescue the kid, the brother of Chloe. and do both at the same time. And Ford's like, no, we're just gonna do the mission, forget the kid. And that's when Boyce stands up to Ford.
Yep.
And wins.
Because
even Tibbet backs him up too. Like, let's just do both.
Ford yells at him, I gave you an order. He's just, no.
This goes above orders. This is about being a good human being.
And then, and that's
humanity.
Like Marlon brought up, that's the first time I think where Tibbet is like, has Boyce's back.
Yeah.
It's a turning point.
He's like, that's a kid's a bonus. Let's kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
So he
and it's like, it's all in the same, building. What the fuck is happening?
So the doctor, the Nazi doctor, he's like, oh no, don't use the serum, it's never been tested on the living.
Yeah.
But he's gonna die anyway, so he injects himself with 2.
Yeah, he gives him 2 because there's 2 different color serums. He gives himself both, and he, again, kind of goes through a similar thing that Chase did, except not to an extreme, and he survives. And basically, it's a great B-movie comic book moment where the camera, Wafner goes through all these changes, and like he's, got the super serum, and he turns to the camera, and the music's like dun dun dun.
But
right
that's like when he went from like a realistic war type of villain into almost like a comic book type of villain. Like
and
now
it's almost like a Evil Ash.
Yeah, and I like that moment because now Overlord was saying like, now here's the horror shit, 100% proper. Let's have some fun. It's the third act. The movie now is just going to go off the rails, but in a good way. And at that point, I was ready for it. I wanted now just the balls to the wall, stuff that had been promising, setting up with all these monsters that shit was going to hit the fan. And that was the moment, that it turned into, now we're just going to have some fun with these over-the-top monsters and villains and our heroes.
Ford, Boyce, and Chloe are the ones who enter the facility through the the tunnel that Boyce escaped from the first time around. Yeah, and Tibbet and what was the other dude's name? Jacob. We're going to be the ones pretty much covering them from the front.
Yeah, they're up on that ridge there.
Well, they gotta go make a big distraction. Yeah, and they use like a Nazi.
The spitting Nazi. This was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Great.
I walked in.
So you see the Nazis are out front in like the entryway.
Evil Matt
Smith. Like, what the hell is that? And they're like, open up the thing. They open it up, and it's the tall Evil Matt Smith.
Yeah, he was kind of like a henchman for Wafner.
And you see he's like riding this motorcycle, and he's got duct tape over his mouth, and he comes in, and his hands are tied. And he's tied on, and he's
totally roped into the motorcycle.
What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, what did you get yourself into, Bilbo?
And he keeps gesturing like into the sidecar. There's like a bunch of stuff in there. We can't tell what it is. And they're like, and now they've like crowded around here, and somebody rips off the duct tape, and there's like a grenade.
Yeah, the pins, all the pins,
and he's got a grenade in his mouth. Yeah. And that also like sets off a fuse too.
Yeah.
So his head explodes. Boom! And then the sidecar explodes.
Yeah.
Killing like 15, 20 Nazis.
Yeah.
And then they start firing and
again, a great action 80s
fantastic.
R-rated Rambo First Blood Part 2 missing in action kind of moment, because after he explodes, you're seeing these various Nazis on fire. One of them's holding a bloody stump.
That's right. Yeah,
I mean, the grue and the gore is plentiful, and it's
great.
Yeah,
I love seeing a Nazi get blown up.
And then hell yeah, more movies with Nazis getting blown up. Can we get more of these? I want non-stop Nazis getting blown up in movies from here on out.
I just want to see them get spanked. They really need to be taught a lesson.
And so at this point also we're talking about Jacob and Tibbet together. They kind of become this, for a short bit of time, this fun like little team. Where they even got a fun couple of quips while they're mowing down all these Nazis, providing coverage. They've kind of got some little bit of comedy.
And Tibbet's like, don't stop shooting. And Jacob's like, hey, this is a 2-person gun, fuck you.
Yeah, and it's a great
He's like trying to reload and shoot. It's like, this is great.
It's a great fun little war action movie. And they've got their little team there. And then, then we go back to our main heroes, have gotten into, back into the church, the mausoleum. So we've got Chloe going through the mausoleum in the church trying to find her little brother
Paul. Yep.
And she comes upon 2 Nazis. Where's my brother? Where's my brother? And they're like, and I genuinely feel that these 2 guys don't know. These are like 2 stormtroopers types.
Because it's a tag and bait.
Yeah.
And they're just like, He's being a smart ass like, how would I? But really, how would he know who the fuck her brother is?
I did notice at that moment those two Nazis would probably had no idea. I mean, there's a ton of Nazis in this place, and these guys are just walking down the hallway.
She shoots one of them in the head.
And she's fucking not messing around, blows that guy's head off, and then the other guy's, okay.
And there's a pretty like strict time limit to go get him too, because they might end up finding him with like his head on like a crab body.
Yeah,
head on a crab
But he does end up taking her to a random room with like that's not with her brother in it.
He brings her to like one of these cells, essentially, that we saw earlier with the pinhole. Opens it, and there's this like half body creature. We don't see everything in there, but there's something not right in there.
Yeah, I think it might have been shitting.
You know, this is why they take so long. Difficult. These are so why these things take all night.
Okay. We're almost there.
So essentially, she looks in there. She starts, getting upset because is that my brother? Is that not my brother?
I thought it was for a second.
And then, while she's and I thought it could be. I mean, at this point, I didn't know where Overlord was going to go. Maybe they did kill the kid. And at this moment, while she's distracted by that, you see the Nazi. Here's his moment. He's going to get the jump on her. But then, boom! Here comes our boy Boyce. Mm-hmm. Bam! Takes the guy out. Hero
Cracks
moment.
Him over the head.
Yeah. And then they leave. They're on the mission to find Paul. And at that moment, we see the Nazis get yanked into that cell that they and by some creature. And then you see like in the shadow, it rise up and it's obviously eating them and some grooves coming out of its mouth. And she runs up to find Paul. She finds Paul. He is strapped to a gurney like they are going to do some experiments. She gets to him just in time, gets him off the gurney, but slimy monster piece of shit that was in that cell
finds them.
They tangle for a little bit, but then Chloe is able to like take a gun and put it under his chin and blows his brains out.
Which kind of
in my head I was just like, okay, just shoot him in the head. It's like a zombie. But then she did shoot him in the head, and he's still reanimated. Okay, so it's not a zombie.
Yeah.
So he still came back to life, and then Chloe's running throughout the facility, and
she comes across those flamethrowers, and she gets an awesome hero moment where she's standing there.
Kurt Russell's son.
She's standing there with that flamethrower, and she's dousing those motherfucking monsters.
No luck catching them killers then.
It's just the one killer, actually.
It's great. It's just a great movie moment, and
I really
Chloe's such a badass, such a great badass character.
I really liked that particular monster. I liked how his head was like
had a little bit.
It was like kind of bulbous. One eye was fucked up, but I really liked his left arm was like skin down, and he had like his two bones were sharp.
Yeah. There's
so it was almost like a Resident Evil monster or something. He had like two giant spikes, but there's just his bones.
Yeah, he was just using the broken shards of his bone as a weapon.
Fucking gross, but I love it.
So then Ford he's in the process of planting the bombs. They're gonna blow the place to hell. Boom, Wafner shows up, takes out the timer out of the bomb, crushes it with his bare fist because he's super strong now, super monster, and just starts beating the living shit out of Ford viciously, picks up, and then finally picks up Ford.
Texas Chainsaw moment.
Texas Chainsaw moment on the hook. He's like, he says, I can't
find too. It's under
he gives it to a titty.
Yeah, he says, I can't find any rope.
We don't have any rope here, but
I have this hook, and he sticks Ford on the hook. So here's the hook. I can't bend my arm enough to make a hook. Yeah. But right at the sternum, just and I thought, well, they killed Ford. That is a pretty vicious death for Ford. I figured, well, secondary lead out of the movie. But that is not the case.
Little boy Paul makes it to the village, like town square, and at this point there's like a huge firefight. All these Nazis, and it's pretty much just Jacob and Tibbet. And Tibbet sees Paul and he's like, God damn it, this fucking kid's gonna get killed. All right.
Yeah, hide in the barrel. Hide in the barrel.
He doesn't say, God damn it, I gotta save this fucking kid. But he might as well have.
Yeah.
So he's like, just cover me. And he runs out. He's like, get it, hop on, kid. And he carries the kid and he puts the kid over the barrier. The barrier, thank you. And then, he gets shot. And everybody goes, oh, God damn it. And Chloe comes and...
Yeah. Continuing her reign of being a super badass.
Stomping ass. And then we go back inside the church. Boyce has now intervened. He's fighting Wafner.
You get to see how much of a badass Ford can be. He yanks himself off of the hook.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot that was then.
Yeah.
He falls back on the hook the first try, but then the second try,
lifts himself
out.
Flops himself off the
so
hook.
badass.
And then injects himself.
Then he knows. It's that moment where he's like, well, I'm dying. I got still the mission. So he grabs the serum and then it's like, okay, we're going to have a battle of the Supermen here, basically.
Kind of reminded me of Universal Soldier.
Say goodnight, asshole. Good night, asshole.
Yeah. The two super soldiers now are going to battle.
Ford slides a canister, some sort of a canister of gas or something.
Yeah, oxygen or something.
And he's like, oh, this is the best you can do. And then Boyce shoots it. It explodes, knocks Wafner over the railing.
Yeah. Burns him a bunch.
He's all burnt up, all fucked up looking. So they kind of meet up and they're like, hey, we still got to get, I didn't get the one set up in the tower. We still got to do this.
Yeah.
So Boyce is like, yeah, come on, let's go. And after he leaves, Ford slams the iron gate shut, locks it, throws the key out, and he's like, you're on your own. This is the job. You got to do this.
Yeah, and he says,
I've got all. And it's at this point we realize, he's got the shit in his veins because you see like some wounds kind of closing up.
Well, also the other reason he says, one, he's the only person that can set the charges off, and two, he says we
don't deserve this either.
Our side can't have this either. Yeah. So I can't leave there with the shit. We have to get rid of this, and we have to bury this. This is what we need to. I'm going to blow this shit up, and we're going to bury this deep. No one will ever find it, and the serum will never get out.
Yeah.
Boyce runs off. Ford gets his badass one last hero moment. He's standing there, and all these other ghouls and monsters are starting to come out, and even Wafner's still not totally done. He's mangled, but he's still
looks like Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, he does. I hate you.
Climb up.
Yeah, he clearly did not get the high ground in that battle.
All right.
And then so Ford pulls out the lighter that he stole from Wafner, that Wafner had gotten from as a prize for executing a bunch of people.
The gold SS
one.
Yeah, it's like your Marble.
He lights it, and he's got the fuse, and he's like, I don't need this anymore. Sounded exactly like his dad, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, fuck you too!
So Boyce is running, boom,
and the camera's in front of him going backwards the whole time.
And he's running the whole time, just explosion
after explosion.
And then one or two shots.
And you follow him from like the center all the way through. Then we go back to the town, and we see Tibbetts like laid up, and he's bleeding, but she's like kind of dressing it. He's fine. He's more or less fine. Boyce is walking through. He's like all dusty.
It reminded me of Predator.
Yeah, it's like the end of Predator.
He's all muddy.
They were just missing that trumpet music at the end. Like
as they're there, the camera starts pulling back, and we see the invasion of Normandy is on, and you see the warplanes flying over as the camera pulls back, and it's really cool. It's a chilling, kick-ass moment.
And then we see the U.S. Army has. Is that the same town that they're in?
I think so. I think it's just like maybe a day or two later.
Some commanding officers there kind of debriefing Boyce, like, what the fuck? Why did he...
why are your briefs on private?
Shut up, Joe. The tower was up top. Why did you go down below? And he's like, oh, well, Ford suggests, he's the demolitions expert. He suggested planting him down there. It was more structurally sound to do it that way. And he said,
well, hell of a call. I wish he was still here. Yeah. So tell him what a good job he did. Yeah.
And then he's got one more moment where he's like, now, hold on a minute. He's like,
was there anything wild?
Is there anything underneath there that we should go?
You see any zombies?
We've been hearing it. We've been... Take your glasses off.
No, I can't
Take your glasses off. You don't get to see for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Something strange.
We have to look at your lazy eye, and so do they.
I can't see nothing. Where are you, Ryan? I can hear you.
There's rumors that there's something weird down there, and he's like, do we need to... Is it worth us going down and digging this stuff up?
And he's like, nope.
Boom.
Boom. That's it.
Directed by Overlord. Cheers. All right, Joe. From... Oh, it's like looking into the abyss.
Looking into a fat
the abyss looks back at you.
You don't know cold until you've looked into the eyes of Joe Buckley.
They're black, like a doll's eyes.
Yeah, it's
death.
10 men went in.
Shut up.
3 men came.
Let Ryan do the thing so we can go home.
Okay.
You're ridiculous, Joe.
This is fun, but it's late. I'm tired.
Yeah. All right. On a scale from malevolent to benevolent, Joe Buckley, what do you rate Overlord?
I would rate this benevolent. I thought this was incredibly well done for what it was. Like I kind of.
What was it?
high gore.
That's something you say all the time. It was good for what it was. Almost like a backhanded compliment.
It's absolutely
what is
a backhanded compliment.
It's good for what it was. Well, what is it?
A high gore kind of horror movie mixed with a war movie.
And it's good for what it is.
I'm just saying.
That's the second time you've done a review like that. That's fine. You liked it, but not.
By far, I feel like I've said this a lot, but each time we watch better and better movies, this is, as of right now, the best movie we watched on any of this version of the show.
Oh yeah.
This was 100. This is probably one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic war movie. It's a great horror movie. I would classify kind of some sci-fi elements in this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect movie to see in a theater, especially with people who might necessarily think, oh, it's maybe just like kind of a little bit of a gory war movie, but it's shot well. I love the music.
Yes,
we didn't really talk about the music much. The score is great. It's sort of classic war movie, but I really like that the first time he goes in to the church and he sees the stuff, there's like a weird like reverse effect on the strings of the kind of the main theme that was very strange. But it's great. It's super gory. I love gory movies. I haven't seen a big budget one in a very long time. Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend this 100%. Benevolent way.
On a scale, malevolent to benevolent.
I'm just gonna keep it mine's short. Benevolent.
Yeah,
is a solid movie. It's a good movie. Solid acting, solid writing, great pacing. It's great character development. You got to spend time with the right characters like needed. They had their development that they needed, and yeah, it was a good story. They just kept to the point and it was well delivered.
Well, I'm going to echo the sentiments of my compatriots here. Benevolent, 100% benevolent. Again, I mean, a lot of the characters were this kind of stereotype characters you see in a war movie, but because they were so well acted and so well likable, I was on board with all of them. It works, like everyone said, it works as a war movie, beautifully shot. The costumes, the sets, everything was felt authentic and just good big budget kind of value. And then the horror stuff, awesome as well. Great ending. Didn't do any cheap jump scares. The few that are in it were earned and made sense and were effective, but it doesn't rely on it. And again, this was the kind of movie we don't get anymore. We've said it a couple times, but movies like Predator, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, a lot of those 80s movies, those big budget, made for adults, profanity, violence, high stakes, but fun at the same time.
But the stakes aren't, oh no, we got to save the world from being blown up.
Yeah, it's that. It's a kind of movie we don't get anymore. A big budget, hard R, not afraid to show the gore, not afraid to have characters say 4-letter words, not afraid to kill off the characters. It felt like Predator. It felt like a movie that should have came out in 1988. Absolutely it did. Just with 2018, quality filmmaking and effects and that sort of stuff. It was a movie that kind of came out of nowhere. The first time I saw the trailer, I was like, what the hell is this? When I saw the trailer, I was like, we'll see. The movie delivered. And again, it's probably going to be on my top 10 movies of 2018, which I did not expect from Overlord.
Definitely.
I thought it'd be fun. The reviews were good, but I didn't feel I'd be walking out of it thinking like, God damn it, I want to see that again.
Like right now.
Yeah. That's it. That's Overlord here on Malevolent Matinee. Was it worth the drive?
Yes, it was.
That's good. That's good.
Very good.
It was.
Yeah, do something.
And this has been Malevolent Matinee.
Look at the audio spike.
Oh,
there.
sorry. Yeah, no, that's not usable. Oh.